Am I the a-hole for snapping at my sister after my parents asked me to skip a Christmas gift this year so she could get special braces? I, 16M, have a younger sister, 14F. Our parents always treated us differently because I'm a boy and she's a girl. They really don't want her to ever be disappointed, and they'd always ask me to skip stuff or give up something so she could do something else or have something else. Examples of that: if we both got invited to birthday parties on the same day, they'd ask me to skip it so she could go to the other, instead of just dropping us off at the different parties. If it was my turn to pick where we ate for dinner and I wanted my favorite and she complained, they'd ask me to let her pick, even though I didn't like her favorite either. But she was younger and a girl, so they thought it was okay. If we went on vacation or to the amusement park close to our town, they'd ask if I minded going last so she could go on rides or do what she wanted to do, and then they'd just never get around to mine. Then if I was given candy or something and she liked it, I'd be asked to give it to her. I did say no sometimes, but I was either told I was an older sibling and should, or they ignored my no and did what they wanted to anyway. Because of this, my sister expected this, and she became so spoiled. It only got worse when I started babysitting 2 years ago and making money. I was asked to buy her something she wanted, or to give her some money. And of course, saying no was a waste of time again. My sister needs braces now. She doesn't want the regular ones. I was told she's not getting Invisalign either, but there's some special braces she won't mind wearing, but they cost a lot. She complained when our parents said they didn't have the money, and she complained so hard that she even said they shouldn't give me anything for Christmas this year to afford it. So of course my parents asked me if I was okay with not getting a gift this year so she could have those braces. I started to say no, and they started talking over me, so I said, "You basically F you and do what you want because I don't count." My sister was trying to say something about it, and I pointed right at her face and told her to stop talking to me. I called her a spoiled and selfish brat, and I said I don't want her to be my sister. I said I'm older, but it doesn't mean she should always come first. She argued back at first, and I told her to stay away from me and she can F off with our parents. I was mad. My parents tried to yell at me that same night, but I was so mad they stopped. But the next day they told me snapping at my sister was wrong, and I shouldn't say yes if I mean no. So I said no, and they said saying no doesn't work. I told them to F off. They took my stuff for over a week for talking to them like that, and they lectured me again for taking it out on my sister. Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for expressing concern to my wife about breastfeeding our 3-year-old daughter? My daughter just turned 3. My wife is still breastfeeding her multiple times a day, including to get her to go to sleep. I know my wife and daughter get something special out of this arrangement: bonding, closeness, stress relief, etc. But I'm concerned that she may be getting a bit old for it. I know that even the conventional thinking on this topic has become more liberal in recent years/decades, but I can't stop thinking of the Game of Thrones scene where a seemingly 12-year-old Robbery Aaron suckles his queen mother's breast before demanding that Tyrion be thrown down the moon door to his certain death. Sorry if the reference is obscure. In any case, when I broached the subject with her recently, it did not go well. When planning for an out-of-town trip that would require my wife to be away for a few days, I suggested that maybe this would be a good opportunity to wean her. My wife got very defensive, accusing me of being insensitive and reminding me of the book she recently read on the topic that discusses baby-led weaning. I guess the idea is that our child will give it up when she's ready. This was already a sore subject because we had conflict about it in the past in relation to co-sleeping. I would prefer that we get her more independent and sleeping in her own bed and less dependent on breastfeeding for sleep. I also explained that it has really put a strain on our own opportunities for intimacy and that it is a superpower she has that I am somewhat jealous of, if I'm being honest. This was met with accusations that I'm being selfish. Bottom line is that I don't really feel like my opinion on this is welcomed. Am I the a-hole to continue to push this? Should I just let it go?